Hello there, friends. I wanted to give you a little snapshot in what I was doing today. I find it interesting and a lot of fun too. So what I'm doing today is milling up tomato steaks with the sawmill. Now you could go out and buy steaks, or you could use a fiberglass steak or something like that, and those are quite expensive. But for me, with a low budget, this is the best option. And so we've got a sawmill here. It's a Wood Miser, which is a really nice brand. And what I'm doing is I'm rolling over these large logs over here that we've already have graded and stacked in our pile, and I roll them over to our little loading dock here and roll it up onto the sawmill. And using the peavey here, or it's also called a cant hook, this is what I use to roll the logs up. It's a little tough to do if you don't have one of these, so it's a good tool to invest in. And so anyway, once I get the log up, basically you square the sides. So you cut the top and then you cut the side and you turn it each time. And this is a band sawmill, so it's got a rubber band shaped, that's where the name comes from, a band shaped blade on it that spins around really fast, and that's what cuts. And you can see its teeth in there. And so anyway, what you do is you've got this little ruler stick here on the side of it, and this raises the mill up and down, so that way you can get the proper measurements for each cut. And so I can basically cut these steaks however I want to and whatever size I want to. So I've cut these 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. It seems to be a nice compromise in terms of strength versus bulkiness. And you want to consider too how thick you want them to be if you're going to be pounding them into the ground, because if they're really thick, then you really have to pound hard with the post driver in order to get them in. So you can see the different types of woods here too. This is a poplar and this is a red oak. And so they've got great different smells too as you mill them up. It's one of the things I like about working with wood. So anyway, it's a lot of work. It's hard work, but it's a nice way to be self-supporting, and it's a nice way to be able to find resources for the farm using your own means, what's at your disposal. So you might have trees on your property that you could cut down and mill up in tomato steaks. If you're not at that level, then just go and find a friend or get some steaks and get your tomatoes to where they can stand up straight. And speaking of tomatoes, that is a lesson for us. Some plants, they can stand up by themselves, but there's others that have to be trellised in order to do well. And that is a lesson for us, because every single human being is just like those plants that have to be trellised. We cannot stand up by ourselves. We have to have Christ supporting us. He's the only one that can possibly help us to stand upright. And the proud who don't feel their need, they fall over. That's why it says, "Behold, the proud, his soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." So when we have faith, it's just like that stake in Christ that holds us up and keeps us from falling over. So I hope those lessons have been a blessing to you, friends. And remember that with agriculture, as with all things, if you pray and you ask God wisdom, then He will give you wisdom. And just using simple means and limited resources, you can do a whole lot. God bless you all.